Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for taking the time to come out and see this. Bob, thank you so much for organizing, and Randy and Sharon, I'm looking forward to hearing your great questions. This is going to be a lot of fun tonight, and I hope you just sit back and relax. My name is Jeff Noble, and I'm kind of the wild card. Just a little bit about me. I'm accompanied by my lovely bride, Myra Kay. We've been married 29 years. We moved to Michigan in 1999. We have 3 daughters, all of which are adults now. My oldest daughter is married and has given me a genius for a grandson, and he's handsome like his papa, he tells me, so that's a good thing. Then my middle daughter is currently working living in Toledo, but working here in Michigan, and my youngest daughter is going to school to be a nurse. We came to Michigan because we were called here. I had had a secular career out of college, worked in the secular field, was involved with business, was involved with sales, and then in 1992 I was called by God into the ministry. And so in 1993 we sold our house and all of our worldly possessions, including my Harley-Davidson motorcycle and my drums. And so we sold those and we went to seminary with our children. Graduated in 1996 and served in several churches in and around the South. And we're praying to be closer to family. My parents live here in Michigan and have for a long time. And God opened a door and called us to come to Canton to pastor a church there. We came to a small little church. It had about 50 members, and we just loved those people and continued to work with them and teach them and encourage them and pray with them and cry with them and all the things that are involved in the life of a pastor. And we grew and grew and grew until the time came we had to build a new facility. Well, a church up the road in Plymouth, the First Baptist Church of Plymouth, called us and said, "You've got a lot of people in your little building. We've got a few people in our big building. Why don't you bring your people to our church and we'll start a new work?" So we did that in 2008. We've continued to grow ever since then. Now, some folks would say, why in the world would you get involved in the political process? Well, that's a really good question. And there's a couple things that I've been answering as I've been knocking on doors and talking with people on their front porches. There was a book that was written years ago called A Purpose-Driven Life. And Rick Warren, the author of that book, wrote this book. And the first thing that he says, the first words on that first page there is, "It's not about you." And I've carried that thing for my whole life, ever since I read that and thought about that, because that's exactly what God tells us. We're not to be about our interests. We're about to be about the interests of those around us. So I know this is not about me. And quite frankly, I didn't have any aspiration of being in politics. I had no interest in coming and being a part of this. I was invited, I was asked to come. Senator Patrick Colbeck and a few other folks got together and called me at the beginning of January and said, "We would like you to run." And I said, "You all are nuts." Because the idea of me running for politics, I'm just kind of a straight shooter. I'll tell you what I think. There's no schmoozing. There's no, it is what it is. And they said, "No, we want you to think about it. We want you to pray about it." So my wife and I did. We came back a few days later and we said, "Okay, we'll do this." We got involved and we've had an absolute blast trying to meet folks and interact with people. And we're carrying the same mentality in our ministry into our political run. And that is simply meeting the needs of people. I've sat across the desk from a lot of folks that are hurting and struggling. I've known what it's like to be at a person's bedside as they're passing off into eternity. And they tell me the same thing. They always say, "I wish I'd spend more time with my family. I wish I wasn't so dedicated to the things that really didn't matter." And that's why we got involved, to help people have life and not just have a living. So we got involved with this and trying to encourage folks, to tell them what we've got. I know the struggle of small businesses. I understand the people that are working for big corporations. I deal with folks who have come here from foreign countries and how they try to get assimilated and all that. All of that stuff I think will allow me to be able to listen and to respond to the people I interact with. I'm just simply telling you that I'm here to serve, just like I've been doing for 23 years in ministry. I'll listen to the people that I represent. I'll do my very best. I'd like to say that I know exactly what's going to take place when I get in Lansing, but there was an old Jimmy Buffett song that said, "Don't try to describe a KISS concert if you've never seen one." I've never been in the legislature other than to pray a couple of times on the floor, but I would like very much to go there with an open mind. I don't have an agenda. I don't have a bunch of people that are trying to earn my vote or earn my loyalty. I'm just simply wanting to go up there with a pure heart and a desire to say, "Look, I'm here to represent the 20th district." If that works for you, I'd love to have your vote. So I'm Jeff Noble, and I approve this message, I guess.